Bugungi darsimizda siz bilan Cambridge 8 Test 1 Passage 1 analizini ko'rib chiqamiz va birinchi navbatda bizdan nima kutilayotganligini bilish maqsadida title ko'rib chiqishimiz kerak. A Chronicle of Timekeeping. Ya'ni demak timekeeping xronikasi demak bu qismda vaqt haqida bo'lar ekan va undan keyin savol turlariga qaraymiz. Reading Passage 1 8 paragraphs, which paragraph contains the following information. Qaysi ma'lumotlar qaysi paragraflarda berilganligini topishimiz kerak. Undan keyin esa list of nationalities, ya'ni bu nisbatan millatlarning qaysi birida nima ishlar qilganligini topishimiz kerak bo'ladi. Undan keyin esa how the 1670 level based device worked haqida ma'lumotlarni topishimiz kerak bo'ladi. Matching information savollari. Matching feelings gap savollari. Feeling is something. Xo'p, keling bu qismdagi savollarni topish uchun birinchi navbatda biz o'qib olishimiz kerak bo'ladi. Shuning uchun ham birgalikda o'qib javoblarni topishga harakat qilamiz. Xo'p, demak bu qismda ABC D E F G H. Demak bu qismda ABC qismda birgalikda o'qib DFG demak ikkiga bo'lib olar ekanmiz bu berilgan tekstni. According to archaeological evidence, at least 5,000 years ago, long before the advent of Roman Empire, Babylonians began to measure time, introducing calendars to coordinate community activities, to plan the shipment of goods, or in particular to regulate planting and harvesting. They based their calendars on three natural cycles: the solar day, marked by the successive periods of light and darkness as Earth rotates its axis; the lunar months, following the phase of the moon as it orbits the Earth; and solar year, defined by the changing seasons that accompany our planet's revolution around the sun. Before the invention of artificial light, the moon had a greater social impact, and for those living near the equator in particular, its waxing and waning was more conspicuous than the passing of the seasons. Hence, the calendars that were developed at the lower latitudes were influenced by more lunar cycles than the solar year. In more northern climates, however, where seasonal agriculture was practiced, solar year became more crucial. As the Roman Empire expanded northward, it organized its activity chart for the most part around the solar year. Centuries before the Roman Empire, the Egyptians had formulated a municipal calendar having 12 months of 30 days with 5 days added to approximate the solar year. Each period of 10 days was marked by the appearance of special groups of stars called decans. At the rise of the star series just before sunrise, which occurred around the all-important annual flooding of Nile, 12 decans could be seen spanning the heavens. The cosmic significance the Egyptians placed led them to develop a system in which each interval of darkness, later each interval of daylight, was divided into a dozen equal point parts. These periods became known as temporal hours because their duration varied according to the changing lengths of days, nights with passing of the season. Summer hours were long, winter ones short. Only at spring and autumn equinoxes were hours of daylight and darkness equal. Temporal hours, which were first adopted by the Greeks and then Romans, who disseminated through Europe, remained used for them 2,500 years. It's like really complex thing, really complex text. Qiyin ekan. Endi topishga harakat qilamiz javoblarni. Description of an early timekeeping invention affected by cold temperature. Cold temperature bilan affect qilingan northward. Xo'p, cold temperature ni ko'rdikmi lekin. Xo'p, mana solar year became more in more northern climates. However, the seasonal agriculture was practiced. Solar year became more crucial. Northern climates. Balki, yana bilmadim. Cold temperature ni ko'rmadim-da. Xo'p. No information about it. Let's just use B, for example. Why not? Hozircha B ni belgilab qo'yamiz. Agar B bo'lmasa, o'chirib tashlaymiz. Muammo emas. Xo'p. Explanation of the importance of geography in development of calendar in farming communities. Importance of farming. Importance of geography in farming communities. Xo'p. Geography here, of course, waxing and waning, lower latitudes, equator. Bino olamiz, demak bu qaysi biridadir bu bo'lmaydi javob. Ko'ramiz. Description of the origins of the pendulum clock haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Details of simultaneous efforts of different societies to calculate time using uniform hours haqida ma'lumot yo'q hozircha. Simultaneous efforts. Calendar in which the months were equal in length. 12 months, 30 days. Demak, Egyptians bo'ladi. B bo'ladi. Egyptian gods. Hope they divided the day into two equal halves. Two equal halves. Nope, hozircha yo'q. Hope they developed a new cabinet shape for a type of timekeeper. No. Worst chaos. O'qismda Babylonians bo'ladi bu qism. Babylonians bo'ladi bu qism. Keyingisiga o'tamiz. Xo'p, savollarga javob yo'g'ini topganimiz yo'q. Ko'ramiz. Javoblarni topishga harakat qilamiz. In order to track temporal hours during the day, inventors created sundial dials which indicate time by length or direction of the sun's shadow. Sundial counterpart to the water clock was designed to measure temporal hours at night. One of the first water flows was based with a small hole near the bottom through which the water dripped out. The flowing water level denoted the past hour as it dipped below our lines described on the inner surface. Also, these devices performed satisfactorily around Mediterranean. They could not always be dependent on the cloudy and often freezing weather of northern Europe. Okay. That involved mechanical clock meant that although it could be adjusted to maintain temporal hours, it was not naturally suited to keeping equal ones. With this, however, arose the question of when to begin counting. So in the early 14th century, when a number of systems evolved, the schemes had divided the day into four, where according to the start of the count. Italian hours began at the sunset, Babylonian hours sunrise, astronomical hours at midday, and great clock hours used for large clocks at midnight. Eventually, these were superseded by small clock, who split the day into 2-hour periods commencing at midnight. Xo'p, hozircha javoblarni topishga harakat qilaylik. Description of origins of pendulum clock. Pendulum haqida o'qimadik hozircha. Bormi yoki pendulum? Yo'q. Pendulum yo'q. Simultaneously efforts to create efforts to difficult content using uniform hours. Bu qismda uniform hours mavzusida bor equal parts bo'lar ekan. Chunki mana yozilgan Babylonians, Italians, Germany, France. O'sha javob bo'ladi. Pendulum clockni hali ko'rmadik hozircha. Early thinking effect by cold temperature. Maybe. Ko'ramiz. Bu qismdacha. Yo'q. Divide the day into equal halves. Demoqchi 12-hour period bu French bo'ladi. French people. Keyingisiga o'tamiz. Javob cabinet hop o'qimaylar. Error record. Yo'q, rangni o'zgartirishimiz kerak. Hop, the earliest record weight-driven mechanical clock was built in this. Weight-driven revolutionary as well as the timekeeping was neither the descendants wing. It provided motive force for the northern gear wheels, which had been around for the transfer of the power. This was part called escape menu in the method called spring of use, which maintained constant force of the gear wheels of timekeeper despite the changing tension of the mainspring. Pendulum clock had been divided, but the pendulum in a large arc was not very efficient. Pendulum. F bo'larkan pendulum clock. Keyingi qismga o'tamiz. To address this aberration of the original escapement was invented. It was called the anchor escapement, lever-based device shaped like a ship anchor. Hop, ship anchor mana bor ship anchor. Motion of pendulum rocks is this device so that motion of it catches and releases each tooth of the escaped wheel. It turns, allowing to turn a precise amount. Unlike the original form used in early pendulum clocks, the anchor escape permitted the pendulum to travel in a very small arc. Moreover, this invention allowed use of long pendulum which could beat 1 a second. Thus led to the development of a new floor standing case design, which became known as grandfather clock. Demek new floor standing case design. Of escapement resembling what? Escapement which was lower was divided like a ship's anchor. Resembling ship's anchor bo'ladi bu javob. Ship's anchor. Ship's anchor bo'lishining sababi qismda yozilgan, ko'rsatamiz. Mana device shaped like a ship's anchor javob bo'ladi. The something and the something. Bu narsani topishimiz kerak, butun hamma narsani topishimiz kerak. Xo'p, the releases each tools of escape wheel. Demak, bu qismda mana bu escape wheel umuman each tools bo'ladi mana bu. The tools. Escape wheel. Escape wheel bo'ladi. Keyingi qismga o'tamiz. Which beats something which beats each second bo'ladi mana bu qismda mana yozilganda. Precise amount, clocks beat once a second. Allows use of long pendulum. A long pendulum bo'ladi bu. Yoki pendulum. Prosto pendulum. Long yozaylik, masalan, longdan longga qo'yib qo'yishimiz mumkin, mana qo'yib qo'yishimiz mumkin. Long pendulum bo'ladi. Pendulum. Which beats each second bo'ladi javobimiz keyingisi. Second bo'ladi. Shu bilan bugungi bu qism o'z nihoyasiga yetadi. Bu qismdan qutuldik. Xo'p. Keyingi qism bitta savol qoldi, o'zi bitta savol qoldi bu qismda. Mana bu savolda ikkita savol bor. Yana bittasi borda, mana bu ikkalasi bittasi xatoda. O'shani topishimiz kerak. Topamiz. Today, highlighter timekeeping instrument sets a beat for the most electronic devices. Nearly all computers contain a quartz crystal clock to regulate their operation. Moreover, not only do time signals beam down, satellites calibrate the function of precise navigation with mobile phones, sectarian systems, nationwide power distribution grid. So the integral half this time is technology depends on this is recognized only once they fail to work. New cabinet shape. O'qiganimda shuni. Mana development floor. Mana new floor standing case design. Cabinet shape bu G bo'ladi. Xo'p, bu kim bo'lar ekan endi? Who are you? English bo'lar ekan, D bo'lar ekan. English bo'lar ekan bu qism. Xo'p, buni tugatdik. Bu qism savollar tugadi, bu qismda ham savollar tugadi. Oxirgisi qoldi. Lekin biz 12 minut vaqt sarfladik o'zi. Xo'p, explanation of the importance of geographic development of farming communities. Bu bo'lsa kerak, B bo'lsa kerak, cold temperatures. Xo'p, demaymiz, zivilib ketaman, chunki hozir meni chaqirishyapti. Develop ketaman. Agar xato bo'lsa, xafa bo'lmaysizlar. Shu bilan bugungi darsimiz o'z nihoyasiga yetadi. Muammolar bo'lsa kommentarda qoldirishingiz mumkin. Sizlar bilan ko'rishguncha xayr.